Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my February TBR. So heading into February, I've got a lot of books on the docket and some that I'm really excited about. First up, I wanted to share the February picks for my Patreon book club. Every month my patrons get to vote on books that we're going to read together, and for 2020 we are doing genre-specific months. For February, in honor of both Valentine's Day and Black History Month, the picks that they could vote from were all romance novels written by Black authors. And for this month, we decided to throw in an additional novella. So I'm really excited to announce the two books, the one full-length book, one novella, that we will be reading for Patreon Book Club. First up, we are going to be reading Rafe, A Buff Male Nanny by Rebecca Weatherspoon. This has been on my radar for quite a while, and I recently tried listening to this on audio. I struggled a little bit with that. I didn't like the way the narrator did the voice for Rafe, but I didn't want to actually DNF the book, so I'm going to read it physically. Rebecca Weatherspoon is a Black author, and Rafe is a interracial romance where a single mom needs emergency care for her two daughters and ends up hiring a buff male nanny, and he seems like a total sweetheart. So I think this is going to be a fun one. This was also a uncontested winner. Everyone who voted for this book, so apparently people are excited for it. And then the other book that we're going to be reading this month is Agnes Moore's Wild Night by Alyssa Cole. This is a very short little novella, so we're not reading two full-length books, but Alyssa Cole, you might know, is one of my all-time favorite authors. She is another Black romance writer, and Agnes Moore's Wild Night centers a Black heroine and is set in medieval England, so that's going to be fun. Those are the two books that we're going to be reading for book club this month. Thank you so much to all of my patrons. I really appreciate your support. If you guys are interested in joining our little Patreon family, the link is always down below. And as always, a special shout out goes out to my patrons at the new release hardcover level and above, currently including Lori from Lori's Book Trials, Ashley from Books with Ashley on Instagram, Sydney from Sydney Stories, and Trina from Bookish Trina on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I'm super excited to read these books in February. Every month my patrons are also entered into a raffle where one of them gets to pick a book that they want to see me read and review in that month. And this month Trina was the winner, and the book that she selected to see me read and review is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. I'm actually really excited to pick this up. This is my most recent Book of the Month Club pick. This was one of the options for January. I have actually not even shown this in a book haul yet, so you guys get to see this. And I am actually an affiliate for Book of the Month Club. My affiliate link is down below if you guys are interested, and there should be a code down there where you can get your first book for $9.99 if you're interested. It is $15 a month including shipping for a new release and sometimes early release hardcover. There's always 5 options, and if you don't like any of them, you can skip the month. So if you're interested, if you want to support the channel that way, feel free to use that link down below. I do make a small commission off of that. But for this month, The Sundown Motel was her pick, which I'm really excited for. I read a couple years ago The Broken Girls by Simone St. James and absolutely loved it, so I've been looking for a reason to read something else by her. So this one is set at a kind of rundown, maybe haunted motel in upstate New York in 2 timelines. One timeline is in 1982, one timeline is in 2017. The Broken Girls also had a multiple timeline thing with like creepy stuff that also got into socially relevant issues. I'm hoping this will do something similar, and I'm really excited to read it. I think her writing is fantastic. Thank you, Trina, for picking this. I will be reading this in February. Then I actually have 3 buddy reads for February that I'm going to be doing, which is probably more than usual, but I think it's going to be a good time. First up, I'm doing a buddy read with a bunch of people who I will link down below. I know Jade from Bedtime Bookworm and Rachel from Shades of Orange, both of whom I love, and I think a couple of other people who I'm not as familiar with. We're going to be reading Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. So I had this on my physical TBR and saw that they were going to be doing a buddy read and was like, hey, can I join in? That sounds like fun. I know this is a well-loved sci-fi sort of space opera story, which I've been wanting to read more sci-fi, and this seems like a good way to get into it. and it was recently super on sale on Audible, so I'm probably going to be listening to this via audio, which I think will be great. It was like $6, which was awesome. So yeah, very excited to pick this up as a buddy read. Also, I don't know exactly when we're doing this because we haven't discussed details, but I think I'm buddy reading The Mother Code by Stivers with Kayla from Crack Into a Good Book. I really like her. If you guys haven't found her, I will link her channel down below. Definitely go and check her out. She's a smaller, newer booktuber, but one that I just really enjoy watching content from, and I feel like we have a lot of similar taste in books, and she's the kind of person I feel like I would probably be friends with. So I'm kind of excited to read this with her. The Mother Code is another more kind of sci-fi book that looks really interesting. It's coming out on May 5th, if that hasn't changed, but on here it says May 5th. And this is set in a dystopian future where humanity has almost died out and humans are having trouble having babies. And so these machines are designed to grow babies inside of them and give birth to them and take care of them. And it's in 2049. I don't know, it just sounds really interesting. I like this sort of like thematic content it's playing with, so we're going to be reading that hopefully in February. And then lastly, I'm going to be doing a buddy read with Isabella from the Feminist Bookworm over on Instagram. She's one of my patrons and a friend, and we've done a lot of buddy reads together, and it's been great. This month we're going to be reading Havenfall by Sara Holland. This is coming out March 3rd. It's the start of a new YA fantasy series that sounds really interesting. It involves portal fantasies, and it's set in the mountains of Colorado. I love the final cover, which I keep saying in videos, so I'll put a picture here. I have heard kind of mixed early reviews on this, but I'm still excited to give it a try and see how I feel about it. So I'm going to be picking this up and reading this with Isabella. In February, I would also like to pick up Come Tumbling Down by Seanan McGuire. This is one that I had pre-ordered, again, one you haven't seen yet in a book haul, but will. This is the latest book in her Wayward Children series, returning to the world of Jack and Jill. I am so excited for this. I've heard such good things about it. I really want to read it. I wasn't able to get to it in January, so I think February is probably, hopefully, going to be the month for this. Probably early in February because I already have this downloaded from my library. I'm going to be listening to Finale, the final Caraval book by Stephanie Garber. If you've been following my channel, you might know I loved Caraval, was very disappointed in Legendary when I read them like kind of back to back a couple months back, but I do want to finish out the series and see how I feel about the finale. So I will be listening to this. I may start it in January, but I'll probably finish this one early in February. And then lastly, I have a whole bunch of books for review. I don't know that I'll necessarily get to all of these. I don't feel like I even need to, but but these are kind of the main things that are on my radar heading into the month. First up, I have a middle grade novel that looks super cute. This is Gloomtown by Ronald L. Smith. This one goes on sale February 11th. It's got super cute cover art. Like, I cannot get over how cute this cover is. And it follows a 12-year-old who applies for a job at a spooky mansion because his mom needs the money. And then he finds out that his boss isn't actually human and there's some like creepy things going on. So that looks like it would probably be a lot of fun. I am also very excited to pick up Red Hood by Elana K. Arnold. This one releases February 25th, and I'm hoping to get to it prior to the release date. I really like her books. She does kind of feminist horror fairy tales, and this one I think is a kind of feminist bloody version of Red Riding Hood, so that should be a good time. Then I have a couple that I want to at least try, even though I'm a little on the fence about whether I'm going to be interested in them. I want to give a try to Mazes of Power by Juliette Wade. This one is going on sale February 4th, and it says it's a debut work of sociological science fiction that follows a deadly battle for succession where brother is pitted against brother in a singular chance to win power and influence for their family. This is one of those ones where I'm kind of like, okay, this could be good or I could not be interested. So I'm going to give this a try. I may finish it, I may not, but I want to at least pick it up and try it. Similarly, I want to try out Daughter from the Dark by Marina and Sergey Dyachenko. This one is going on sale February 20th. And I tried reading Vita Nostra by them, and there were some specific things about it that like I found kind of triggering and that bothered me, so I decided not to continue that. I don't think that was the right book for me, but I know a lot of people really love their writing and it is interesting, so I think I might give this one a shot and see if I get along better with it. So we'll see. I have that. Then there's a book going on sale March 3rd that I am definitely going to be reading. This is Salty Bittersweet by Mayra Cuevas. I'm really excited for this. It is a debut YA contemporary that is own voices for the Latinx representation, and it follows a young girl who wants to be a chef. She's really into cooking, and she's dealing with the breakup of her parents. Her parents have been divorced. She's moving in with her dad and her new stepmom, and is just kind of struggling with some family and life things. It's a coming of age story, and I think it's gonna be good. I'm really excited to try it, so I will be reading that. Coming out early in February, I think on the 4th, another book I'm definitely gonna be reading is This Train is Being Held by Ismee Williams. This looks super cute. It is a YA contemporary romance set in New York City, another one that is own voices for Latinx representation. This follows two teenagers, a boy who's Dominican and a girl who is Cuban, who meet on a stopped subway train on their way to school, and it's kind of a star-crossed romance, but I think it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited for it. This one was actually sent to me for review by Abrams Books, so thank you so much to them for that. Go check it out, coming out in February. I am also, if I haven't read it by the end of January, which I don't think I'm gonna get around to it, but there is another book that I've had in archive for a really long time, and this is not even like the finished cover, but it is a adult thriller that is being translated into English and published early in February. This is Real Life by Adeline Duodonne. It sounds really interesting to me. I definitely do want to give this one a try. I think it's going on sale on the 4th, so hopefully I can get around to this. I'll put a picture of the finished cover up here if you guys are interested. And then I have a couple of other books that I was sent by publishers this month that I'm very excited to have. First up, I have a surprise mailing from Orbit. It's a paperback copy of a book that came out last year. This is The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heep by H.G. Parry. I've not actually heard much about this, but it sounds really fun. It's a book lover fantasy, which I always really enjoy, and it's actually a debut about a guy who can bring book characters into the real world. When I read this, I was thinking, oh, this reminds me so much of Inkheart, that book that was really big a while back. I remember reading that. It was like a middle grade story, and this is like the grown-up version, I guess. I think hopefully it will be really fun. So thank you so much to Orbit for sending me that. I'm hoping to read that one in February. And then the last book that's on my radar for this month is one that I would like to get to, even though it doesn't actually come out in May. So if I can't get to it in February, I will read it another month, but I definitely will be reading this. Huge thanks to Tor. This is one of my most anticipated books of the year. This is Network Effect by Martha Wells. I'm so excited to have this. Guys, this is the first full-length Murderbot book. I have, well, I don't know if you can see them, back here, all of the little Murderbot novellas, and I love them. Murderbot is a favorite character for me, and I am very, very excited to have this. It's coming out in May. I definitely want to read it soon. Those are kind of the books on my radar for February. I do also have e-arcs that I'm going to be reading. I'm sure there will be other audiobooks that will sort of come out from my library. I may not read all of these, but that should give you a good sense of a lot of the things that I'll be reading. Talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on anything that I shared today. And for your question of the day, let me know your reading plans for February. There's Valentine's Day, there's Black History Month. Are there any specific things you're planning on reading? I may try to put together some kind of a TBR for Blackathon. I gotta look at the dates of that and kind of look at what I have going on. I've got more Latinx books that I need to read this month for review than books by Black authors, but I might be able to kind of move things around a little bit. If you are not familiar with Blackathon, it's being hosted by Jesse over at Bowties and Books, and they are just really wonderful, and it's highly recommend checking it out. I will link that down below somewhere if I remember to, or you can Google Blackathon and get all the prompts and everything. I think that will do it for me for today. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up button, and if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.